Now I'm going to give you a starred rule that you'll need to put on your study sheet. To find the excluded values of an algebraic fraction, set the denominator equal to 0 and solve. To find the excluded values of an algebraic fraction, set the denominator equal to 0 and solve. Let's look at an example. Give the excluded value for x squared plus 7x minus 3 divided by x minus 2. Well, if we go back and look at the rule, to find the excluded values of an algebraic fraction, set the denominator equal to 0 and solve. Notice that we do nothing with the numerator, because we can have 0 in the numerator. It's just that we cannot have 0 in the denominator, because division by 0 is undefined. So I want to set the denominator equal to 0 and solve. So I'll set the denominator, again, it says set the denominator equal to 0. I've done that, and then it says solve. Well, to solve, all I need to do is to add a positive 2 to both sides. So I can say x minus 2 plus 2 is equal to 0 plus 2, or I get x is equal to 2. Now, the way you write your answer is to say that 2 is an excluded value. In other words, x cannot be 2 in the algebraic fraction x squared plus 7x minus 3 over x minus 2. So 2 is an excluded value, is what I want you to write on your assignments and also on your test. But what that means is that x cannot equal 2 in the algebraic fraction x squared plus 7x minus 3 divided by x minus 2. If you try to let x equal to 2, you will get a division by 0, which is undefined. Let's look at some other examples. I'm going to give you 4 more, and we'll look at them individually. Give the excluded values. First of all, let's look at 4 over x squared minus 7x minus 8. Well, to give the excluded values, we set the denominator equal to 0 and solve. So we say x squared minus 7x minus 8 equals to 0. To solve this particular equation, I need to use factoring, and I can factor it as x minus 8 times x plus 1. So I have x minus 8 times x plus 1 is equal to 0. Set each factor equal to 0, so I say x minus 8 is equal to 0, x plus 1 is equal to 0, and then solve the two equations. We get x is 8 and x is negative 1. So what I do now, I write that 8 and negative 1 are excluded values. Eight and negative 1 are excluded values. Let's look at the second one. Let's look at 8x plus 3 over 4. Well, in this case, the denominator cannot be 0. The denominator cannot be 0. The denominator is 4. No way 4 can be 0. So therefore we have no excluded values. Excuse me. Let's look at another one. 2x minus 1 over x plus 2. To find the excluded values, we set the denominator equal to 0 and solve. So I say x plus 2 equals to 0. I need to add a negative 2 to both sides, so I get x is negative 2. So then I write negative 2 is an excluded value. Finally, let's look at 3x squared plus 4x plus 4 divided by x squared plus 1. To find the excluded values, we set the denominator equal to 0. But x squared plus 1 cannot be 0. The reason is, no matter what value you pick for x, x squared is going to be positive. For example, if you let x be 1, 1 squared is 1, 1 plus 1 is 2, so it will not be 0. If you let x be negative 1, a negative 1 squared is positive 1, 1 plus 1 is 2, and not 0. So no matter what you pick for x, x squared plus 1 cannot be 0. In fact, no matter what you pick for x, x squared plus 1 will be positive. If x is a negative, once you square it, it becomes positive, and a positive plus a positive is positive. If x is 0, 0 plus 1 is a positive. And if x is a positive, then a positive squared is a positive, and a positive plus a positive is a positive. So there's no way you can get 0. Since there's no way you can get 0, again we say no excluded values.